You was doing it 150, 250, like to the minimum just to get it done, just to see the completion. And what people don't realize is that when they get into other spaces and folks that don't look like us, they're going to charge up and they pay it right away.
I told you guys, I am not going to bring somebody in front of you guys that do not know what they're doing and is not good at the A game of what they do.
Having those relationships down at City Hall, down at your different municipalities, knowing the inspectors and things like that, that's what makes you not just an expediter, right?
I'm talking a diamond right here. Miss Jasmine Williams, full of knowledge, not just with real estate, but investments as well. Knew the value of getting a mentor very early on. You understand? Did the trial and errors herself with this business. You understand? Went from being a realtor to becoming an investor. You understand? Against all the kind of odds that was placed against her. If you guys want a person with experience, a mentor with experience, a person that would train you, walk you through the project, walk you through the properties, talk to you about the financing, flip it back, and then help you sell it, help you rent it, whatever that is, Jasmine Williams is the one that's going to do it. And Jasmine is the epitome of that. Jasmine, darling, thank you so much. Let me say something. Her smile, I'm jealous. Because I used to be like, oh, Paulette, you got a nice smile. Her smile is like, I swear. Just takes over your whole everything.
People know everybody, me by my smile. They just, because I be trying to be in the background. Like, oh my God, how's everything going?
Thank you for being
This is amazing to know, like, what was at a house party, 5-6 years ago?
Yes.
And this was like, you were talking about it, you were, and to see this now is just like, we overly use that word amazing these days, right? It's like beyond that at this point. To see this, the growth, it's God's plan for sure. So what is going on?
A lot's going on. You know, sometimes when you embark on things, you think something is your calling and it's not. And real estate is still my calling. It's just a different part of real estate, right? And when I stumbled across it, it was painful because I was doing this type of business with an investor that I grew to not like too much, but not realizing the whole time while I'm working, learning a hard money draw schedule, learning being a construction project manager, going through the phases of construction, the ordering permits. Never did I think, barely getting paid $300 a week while I was doing this for like over 2 years. I'm like crying tears, still next to
trying to
broke.
figure it out.
Didn't realize that the whole time I was being trained, the whole time I was being groomed. You understand?
That was your passive entry. Your payment.
I'm gonna tell you. And then he needed somebody. He was an out-of-town investor, so he needed. I was hiring everybody, paying everybody, picking up the stuff from the Home Depot,
and all of these things.
And then he actually wound up needing a permanent expediter. And I want to add, come on, most of us that want to make more money. What we want to do, get another job, right? So that's what I wanted to get, another job or another
certification. Going deeper.
So I went ahead and did the thing with the permanent expediter license, and I did that. And I wanted to jump both feet into it so I can do it really well. So I took a job part-time as a permanent expediter with the company, with Philadelphia zoning to be exact. And then I worked there for a few weeks to realize the difference between a permanent expediter and a permanent runner. I'm not the permanent runner type that just drop off, pick up, drop off, pick up. I wanted to know what the holdup was. Can I talk to the architect?
But you're also a relationship. You're a relationship person too.
Yeah.
So because of that, having those relationships down at City Hall, down at your different municipalities, knowing the inspectors and things like that, that's what makes you not just an expediter, right? Because a lot of people just, it's like, oh yeah, I can fill out the paper. That's not, that's just like when people say, I remember years ago when I first started being a realtor, but I am really good at being a realtor, right? And so this guy was like, well, you're just a realtor. I was like, well, you try to get your deal closed with all of the circumstances that you have and everything that needs to be worked out. And then it doesn't get worked out because you just got a person that got their license yesterday and they're trying to figure out your deal, right? I'm not just a realtor and you're not just an expediter, because it's somebody that could push papers, but then, like you said, a runner just running it down there, don't know who's taking you. I'm 110% sure that you know everybody behind that counter that's like, girl, look, what's going on? Because when I was there last week, you broke up with your boyfriend. Like, you know everything.
Listen.
Because you have to. It's a relationship thing.
Everything that I do is on relationships, because I always move with integrity, but I never move with an ulterior motive.
Right. It was just always just friendly. It's just you just know.
And I am a people person. When I go down there, it's like, hey, P, what's up, P?
Right.
You know, so I'll be like ducking sometimes. They be like, where you going, girl? And I'm like, I'll be back. I'm gonna get some lunch. You know something? So yeah, it's like that relationship that I did build, it catapulted me even quicker, to the point, even through the pandemic. I was able to sustain and make my first, 6 figures through the pandemic.
Okay.
Because of those relationships. Some of them wound up being on the other line, which is one of the people we were talking to on the phone. And I'm like, wait a minute, because if everything was shut down and everybody was forced to go
Zoom and all of that, right?
So I was forced to learn the Eclipse the same time the city was learning the Eclipse when they did it. So I just got one of Malik's permits approved and called him on the phone. Malik, I just got the permit approved, and boom, it shut down. City shut down like the same day. And I was just like, what?
That's crazy.
It shut down the same day. And I did find my calling. I wouldn't say it's the weirdest thing, because I thought I was good at real estate. I wouldn't say it's the weirdest thing, but it was definitely a blessing in disguise. Once I knew that, my main thing was our people did not know about it. Right. We did not know that there's such a thing that could play that liaison between the municipality and the
investor, contractor, whoever. Yeah, right.
So of course, once I found all that out, I was like, wow. So if I just do this, and I literally begged somebody to be my partner and said, listen, this is going to be a 6-figure company. I'm telling you, I was going to do all the work. I just need you to show me the construction part. Although I was doing construction, he was an actual contractor.
And people know. Yeah.
And he would egg me. I made up a name. I said, called Philly Permit Expediters, and all this stuff. And I was going to partner it. And something said, do it yourself.
Yes.
And I did it myself. And then I said, stop calling him. See if he actually calls you. And then he didn't call back. Okay. And then I tried one more time. So, all right, I'll call him back. And then I stopped calling again, and he never called back. So now to this day, it was sometimes God keep making stuff hit roadblocks until you just realize, man, just go ahead and do it the way you know. So I did this. Listen, completely scared. I'm talking terrified, scared. I wouldn't even throw no papers away. I was sitting in my computer chair, papers on either side of me, because you get a lot of paperwork for your permits. One day my son, he had to be about 19 at the time. He would walk down the steps, because I worked in the house, in my living room. He walked down the steps and see, look, nobody outworked my mom. I'm my mom, the hardest working person I know. He would go to school, go to work, come back.
And you still there.
Come back 12 o'clock at night. Look,
still there.
She ain't never moved. And I didn't realize it, because we're in the thick of it. We're just working. We're in the thick of it. And, at the time, I'm teaching myself reading engineering reports. I'm teaching myself how to read plans. I'm itemizing my list. I got my vision board. I cut a cardboard box, and I never forget, and made vision boards. Here I want this, and there I want to do that. Made myself a price list. Then I went up here. Then I went up to price there. Then I went up there. Then I went up. I mean, it was a time I was charging $250. And I was taking the application fees out of it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right.
$450. And then I was just like, well, dang. So we didn't, and I've been doing this for years by now.
Yeah.
But since 2017. So years now, we're about to hit 2024. People think things happen overnight. It don't happen overnight. And a lot of what I've learned is through my fuck ups. It's through the stuff I messed up on. If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know.
Yeah.
If I haven't done it yet, I have not done it yet, If I drop the ball, I'm going to say, I dropped the ball, but I'm going to pick it back up, and then I'm going to run with it, I don't try to be perfect. I try to be correct, and I try to hold myself accountable. But when I'm one person, I can't, I'll get with it tomorrow. I know you want it today, but honestly, I'm not. If I'm telling you today, I'll be lying to you.
Right.
I could get it done tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I try to be true to myself. I try to be true to my clients at the same time. But it matters to me.
Right.
It matters
A lot of people,
to
it
me.
doesn't necessarily matter to everyone, right?
No,
A lot of people kind of, they're in these spaces and they're trying to like that quick dollar and that quick buck. Like you said, you was doing it 150, 250, like to the minimum just to get it done, just to see the completion.
Yep.
And what people don't realize is that when they get into other spaces and folks that don't look like us, they're going to charge up and they pay it right away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't question it.
No.
But when we are like,
turn it.
they don't. And so what happens is that now you as a small business owner, you at a deficit because this person charged you back or they questioning your pricing, but they'll go to another expediter business or whoever and pay and won't even blink. Like, oh, that's how much it is. Let me write a check. You need some more? Like that type of thing. And so that I think is like our struggle, right? As African American, especially as women, I think that we have to stand up right. And we do a good job of that, and we stand in our confidence, but we haven't always done that. You know what I mean? Like I know for myself, I've said like, okay, well, if they don't want to pay that, like today I was negotiating a deal and the seller was like, well, I really need 60. I'm like, listen, there's nothing around here that's worth more than like $45,000. And she was going back and forth, sending me all these old comps and stuff that was out of range. And I was like, she's like, well, I got another deal. I said, well, no worries. If you have somebody that's going to give you more, take it. And she was like, so then, half an hour, I'm trying to get to you and all this stuff. I get a text right before I came in here. Oh, that person wanted to do such and such financing or something like that. Just go ahead and write it up. Okay. But you have to stay, like before I would have been like, she only wanted a few $1,000s more, but I wasn't willing to pay it. And so, before I would have been like, well, okay, I'll just, I'll eat it on the back end and it's like, no, you know how much every dollar counts now. And so you like, I'm not leaving nothing on the table because you will, if you could get more, go ahead and do that. But for me, I need to make sure that my numbers are tight. And I think as business owners, we've grown so much because we didn't necessarily think about it before. It's just like we know how to make money, but now when we're running businesses, when we have people to pay and build, lights to keep on and things like that, you like, no, this is the price.
It's the price is the price. I think it's wrong when people try to create because you don't want me to work half work.
No,
you understand?
No.
So when people try to create this my value that they place on me to what I place for myself, I'm okay being out of your range. I'm okay with that. And I'm really okay with that because I don't know how to do half service anyway, because you're going to expect full service for every dollar you give me. And not only that, you're going to hold me to, if I give you 800 today, you're going to hold me to the 800 that I gave you that day, knowing that it should have been 1,200. You're going to hold me to the 800 because I did it for a deal on you before. You know what I mean? Right. And people. So we're not.
I'll never forget this guy. He was a businessman for a long time, and he was like, I was building my business, and he was like, well, I was like, well, how do you look out, for your family? Because I knew that he did that, nepotism, right? So he was definitely make sure that his family was taken care of. He said, it doesn't matter if you do it for $0 or half price for your family or whatever it is, always give them an invoice for full price. Right. So if it's $1,200 and you want to charge them $600, get the full price and cross it off so they know the value.
That's what I do.
And then write your number, the new number. And then that way they know this is something that is worth $1,200 and you paying half off, but just know that this is what it's worth. And when you do that, people really, they resonate with it.
They like that better because it makes them feel like they
get something.
But at the same time, there's two things. It lets them know what your regular charge is. It lets them feel happy that they got a discount. But it also lets them know that if they went and came back, it's going to be that price. Right. That's why I started doing it. That's what I do.
Yeah. And, even with our coaching services, a lot of people like, in this space with coaching, and it's been so many things around real estate and just trying to figure out what what's real and what's not. Even the coach, oh, will it cost that much? Yes, because if you don't get a result, then you're going to come back to me and say, oh, well, no, I did this, da, 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 da. You're going to hold me to it. And I'm telling you that it works, right? And so we have success. We have, in our program, 50% of the people everyone who does the work gets a property, right? 50% of the people actually do the work, right? So they all get a property because they're actually taking the steps that I'm putting out there, the curriculum that we've developed, and they get it, right? The people that don't show up, don't do the work, don't follow the steps, let life get in the way, which is a real thing, right? Oh, the kids got sick or the husband needed this, da, 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 da. I get it. But when are you going to put yourself first, right? Because you enrolled in this to be able to live out your goal and your dream. Why isn't that a priority, right? And so, but as far as discounts, no, I can't. Because you're going to pull on me the same way as if I charge you the full price or I charge you the half.
Well, they charge. Well, I'm gonna tell you, they got people charging them a whole bunch of money, and they put videos in front of them. So don't even get me started on that. They put videos, all kind of. I went to do a mentorship. I did it one time, and I stopped.
Okay.
Because
that's what
my brain is. I don't know how to be partly in it again. So I had you showing up at my office. We were actually getting into it. We're going over some of your projects. We're doing a whole nine. I don't know how not to be hands-on as much.
Okay.
So then I realized that's not for me, one-on-one, whatever. And that's as an expediter. What I would do now is I would do more group. If I had to choose, I would do group. And then I would focus on, it's one thing to do the work, and I can show you some steps for the work. But in order to build the brand, I can show you better with marketing.
Right. See, but and I think that you're an excellent marketer, right? Because you are not afraid. Like me, I'm like, I don't know, like that
can't believe it.
But when that camera comes on, I can tell that you are just like, somebody is there and you just like, let's get this done. Right. And so that marketing, that outgoing, that definitely is something that I don't know that you could teach that. You think you can teach that?
You can't teach that, but there's certain like CRMs that I use.
I mean, the expediter definitely.
Certain things that I use that will allow them to be seen. And allow them to, I mean, it's as simple as creating a retractable, or something like that. Simple as every few months, twice a year, I do a photo shoot.
Okay. Things
that I did, a professional photo shoot. When I go to my construction sites and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm not going to construction sites because I don't know what to do. I also do things that's relevant to what I'm doing.
Okay. So you're not out here like, doing something completely opposite. That right, it's all in your lane.
I have a checklist for an ebook checklist I have coming out soon. I have a couple of zoning ebooks coming out too.
Oh, awesome! Okay,
for Black Friday.
Okay,
and in that checklist book, I'm going over phases of construction. I'm going over inspections. What inspection first, second, last, third. And I remember my girlfriend said to me, "Stick to what you know."
Right.
Paulette, all due respect. It's complete transparency. It's not that I don't know construction, but Jazz do this, right? For me to talk about the phases and write questions that I can only go but so far.
Right.
You understand? So when my friend said to me, Paulette, only talk about what you know, like what is your thing? I scratched everything off and I was stressing over making sure I had it right or whatever. I scratched everything off and you know what I did? And now that I scratched it all off, it made it simpler for me because I only did the permit side of it. And my permit side, it made me finish so quickly.
She told you the right thing because even for me, like I know business, I know real estate really well. I know how to establish a business. I know how to get it in compliance so that you can get business credit and stuff like that. But when these guys are like running off these pulling credit cards, 50,000 here and that's not me. And when I tried to like kind of go down that lane because it was like that sensationalism and things like that, it wasn't me. And people are like, well, wait. And like, it's like stuff that but you're not the expert in it.
That's what
right.
it was.
So I could sit here and figure it out.
Right.
It's nothing to figure it out, and I could do it. But why would I get on my stories and talk about something that I'm not an expert in when I'm an expert in all of these other things, and I stick to my lane and go deep.
Right.
And so that is like the biggest, that's the biggest thing that, as far on the content piece of like really figuring it out. Like, you know what? I don't want to talk about things that I'll lean in on you. If I don't know, I'm not an expediter. I don't know the permitting price process in Philadelphia. I tell them, no, I have a person that I go to. You see what I'm saying? So when you do that, then that validates you even more because now you're edifying someone else and you're like, this is the person, and that makes it all the more better because now that is like, listen, I tell people real estate is a team sport. Like you were, like you was like, oh, well, I started here and like you really found your lane. It doesn't matter. The support businesses around real estate make tons more. I was just in here talking to Keisha and that, I mean, she, I don't know. Well, I guess it's public now, but Malik and I are starting another title company together, right?
Yeah, that's the one in Baltimore, right?
Yeah, and dotted line. So so we're doing all of that stuff together. And so
she told me that she was
okay. Yeah, so it's like
and I had some news for her for Baltimore. So just ironic because I'm already in Baltimore.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's like, now it's like lean in. Why us having a friendship and a relationship with her, why would Malik and I do something separate just because we want to do something? You know what I mean? Like, why not do it together? Why would we do that?
It don't make sense.
It makes zero sense. And I always tease her. I'm like, when we like really sat and looked at the books and looked at the projections and all the things, I'm like, sis, I should have been on this side of time, on
Title ain't no joke.
I always had a small partnership with the title company that I have now, but to blow it up and really be able to do the way it is, it's like, what?
Yes.
I was like, Keisha.
Yes.
The number. She was like, this is the number. So, but again, that's the networks, right? Because a lot of us would just be afraid or not even.
Well, it's a whole way. We can't even get into that part because afraid is a whole. People don't want nobody to be here, bigger than here, bigger than in, all this stuff. I'm not going to guess at nothing. I'm going to say it's my first time doing it. It's not my first time doing it. If I don't know, I'm going to tell you. Don't ask me about information about people I don't know. I'm like, listen. I'm not sure. I don't really know. This person I know. This person I know do this. This person I know do that. This person, So I'm more so that person. I stay in my lane. A lot of times, no matter where I go or travel, I'm the only one to do what I do.
Yeah.
And it's great, but then it's lonely too.
Yeah. No, I know you were telling me that.
It's lonely.
Yeah.
Lonely moments. But it's even lonelier because I have to be so edifying with myself to make me stand out in a room where it's only me. Yeah. Could you imagine what that's like?
Yeah.
That's not easy.
No, it's not.
And how they remember you, I thought I was special. Because I'm like, oh, they remember talking to me, right? Why wouldn't they? I want to do what you do. The permit plug or the permit plug. But then when they hear and they see what I do and they realize, wait a minute, oh, she's actually, no, I'm not the little person do this on the side. I have a trademark company. I'm not completely different. Now it's like, oh, it's nothing like doing business with a person that do business with themselves. Right. Like you already invest in yourself. Right. There's nothing like investing in that. I would love to make someone another expediter if they have the skin to do it, but I would break it down in small points and only have them specialize in certain things.
And to your point, when you were talking about like before, when you were thinking about doing like a mentorship or bringing into like coaching and stuff like that, when we have a group program and the group program really helps people be able to get the questions answered that they think they have and they don't even know that they need to ask, right? So somebody else asked that question.
Say, I meant to ask that question.
That's a great question because I needed that answer.
Exactly.
And so it helps. But then in addition to that, one of the things that we do, we in the beginning, we take them through a 12-week period. And during that time, you're really working on your why and you're building your business. In addition to that, we assign a virtual assistant or a VA to that person's business to help them build it out. Because because it's only women, we have busy moms, we have busy professionals, we have, busy wives, like all of the things. What's that?
Because you're very systematic anyway. Listen, this is not she's naturally this way. She's naturally like,
yeah,
she's naturally that way, guys. I mean, that's why she talks so well. And most of us is just like, we react, But one of the things that I did in my masterclass, which to me was a phenomenal thing, which really people actually cried, was I added one, and I have two really, really awesome, amazing therapists. I think if you add a therapist,
I did try a life coach. She was just okay. I think that I would try it again just to kind of pull, because when you're talking about investing and talking about money, talking to Black women that have never done it before, they are at the defense. You have to, because that mindset is like, wait a minute.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that mindset.
Have a mindset coach.
Okay, you have a mindset. Okay, that's all. Yeah, for sure.
And she does Zoom. She does
all that. Okay, so the thing about it is that a lot of times their mindset is like, wait, okay, I'm going to invest this money and, I'm going to invest $20,000 and I'm only going to get maybe $500 after I pay all the bills and stuff off of a rental property. I'm going to get $500 a month off of that rental property. And I'm like, yes, but where else can you put that money that it's going to give you $500 a month as a return? That's a mindset shift, right? Because most of us is just like, well, I would rather have the 20. It's like, no, your $20,000 is going to dwindle down all year. If you put it in some bricks, then now you're going to get a return. It's appreciating, it's growing in value over the years, and now you look up in 5-10 years and you have an asset and you have a portfolio that's worth millions, right? But you got to start somewhere, right? And so like I said, building that business, we put VAs in, like literally work one-on-one with them, because what was happening, like you said, because you know that you needed to stay present for that person and be there, and you're the type of person, you don't want to just be in some videos and stuff like that. Right. It's like, I need to be hands-on. I knew I need to be hands-on, but there's only one of Jasmine, right? So now I'm able to train.
That's fine when there's only one of you.
That's why I train these VAs to really be able to work with them, so that when I'm meeting with them, and I meet with them on a monthly basis, we're just going over the checklist, and I'm like, okay, what's the next step for you?
Let me tell you what I had to do. I had to train. I literally had to train. I had to train a VA good enough, and I learned this from Herman. Train a VA good enough so that VA could teach the other VAs. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm training a company.
Okay, right. To help you to do your thing.
Options, everything from setting up the podcast, my whole back office administrative support. This is exactly what I'm doing.
And those SOPs, a lot of people don't put together SOPs in their business. It's not easy, but even for someone like you who is on that computer,
I'm working on it
and putting and just recording, start recording. We're Loom. And we do. I was talking, doing a talk maybe 2 weeks ago, and they was like, well, the SOPs, that's a hard thing. I'm like, use AI, right? So one of the things that we do is we'll use AI, take the recording of that Loom or that whatever it is of you doing it. AI will pull out the points and rewrite the SOP. So now you can give it over to your VA, and now you're not doing all of those steps, and it's like put into something that's a pretty package.
I be forgetting to use my AI. I mean, I use my AI, but I be forgetting to use them sometimes, because you can tell it what to do. And if I put in enough information, it will pull and then say, rewrite this, or give me a captivating, do whatever. Right. It will give me exactly.
And you're working. Yeah. We don't have to work as hard. 5-10 years ago, we was working hard as hell. But now it's like, we just have to be smarter, right? And putting those SOPs will help you be able to grow.
Wow. You ain't lying.
Because now you're like, oh, all right, I got this team of VAs. I don't have to think about like how they can help me. Here is everything that I do in a day. this is how you can help me, and I'm not,
I need SOPs. I need I cannot wait to finish the SOPs. Once I do that, that's when I'm really gonna grow. Like I'm nothing compared to where I'm at now. When my SOPs get done that I'm working on right now, I'm gonna really be like, because that means I literally can now 100% be almost remote. But now I'm at a phase now where I'm creating more affiliate links.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem
with somebody else.
Doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because as I grew, my calling and is going somewhere else.
Okay.
So this is where we're going to be at. This
Okay.
is our office. This is where we're going to be at. But
This is headquarters.
my calling is somewhere else. Still within the industry, but somewhere else. But I'm still going to run just the same business, which is I want to do more teaching. You know what I mean? Like we're doing more other things, teaching, training, whatever.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, I need to be able to set certain parts of my company up where it can operate almost on its own, where I can travel and do what I need to do there, and then kind of go that way. So, Jazz and I can talk, but
I know we can talk forever.
So we didn't get a chance to talk about permits enough.
Well,
and she
I'm in a project now that is oh my goodness.
About the project.
Not actually not far from here. It's over in South Philly.
Okay.
Down Federal Street, but down 16th and Federal.
Okay.
And baby, I bought it from a lender that I have a relationship with, and I didn't do I am really bad. I didn't do my normal due diligence.
How because who you bought it from? Because you just assumed that everything was fine and everything was right,
and it was not. And so, our inspector retired. The inspector that was on it, the original inspector retired in the process. So we got a new inspector, and the new inspector wanted all of these new things to be done. The project, the general contractor was...
You said you had 16th and what?
16th and Federal. Well, 15th. You probably know. You probably know. I think you know it.
I think I know the inspector too, is what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Because once you cross Broad Street, like Washington Avenue, like once you cross Broad Street, it's different inspectors.
Yeah.
So okay,
I'll give you the stuff. But yeah, but it's like I said, just going through all of the tug of wars. How the contractors here in Philly is like touch and go. I love them to death, but again, because I took kind of the back seat, because I usually take the front seat on projects. Like I'm the one that's like the Home Depots, and I'm like, all right, this is a big project. Let me go ahead and partner with a contractor to really get it done. He dropped the ball on some of the cases. Love him to death, but it was just like, bro, like this is not going to work.
So where was the process that you bought that you didn't know that it had? Like where was that? Did it have a lien on it? Did it have
no liens? No liens. No liens
that you wasn't aware of.
No liens. When I purchased the property, it was really just supposed to be a cosmetic renovation. It turned out that the entire project needed to be completely rehabbed because of the developer. Developer, I guess, was just doing some cut and paste work in the property, and so if I had to do it over again, getting a full inspection on the property and not taking it at face value would be what I would have done. Like I said, the contractor, we just kind of, that communication wasn't there. It's hard money, so of course, just kind of playing that game with them, just trying to make sure that we're getting all their payments in and things like that. That's another thing. We're close to being done. But that's a year later, right? And
did the contractor pull the permits for you?
Yes. On that, yes. And so that did happen. But now it's me in the driver's seat of talking to the inspectors and things like that. We have some of the subs back in play. So, it's coming together, but it's taken a lot longer than what it was supposed to. It was really supposed to be like a 90-day.
How long has it been a project so far?
It was a year this past summer, it was a year. Yeah. So, lessons learned all around the board, just of knowing it's the same steps for every project, right? Follow those same steps and don't waver, right? Even doesn't matter who you're buying it from, doesn't matter who, was the previous developer, you thinking like, oh, it's going to work, like, oh, I know their work. It was just a lot of just things that I didn't anticipate. And so have reserves.
Yeah.
Have reserves on reserves.
Yeah.
And leverage those reserves. But then from there, just make sure that you are dialing in and doing exactly what you are supposed to do, and do the process. I create processes for people. So for me, it was like, what the heck did you like? Why didn't you stick to your process? Like
sometimes we tend to put more faith in people than we put in sticking to the script. You know. And that's just a natural thing. No pun intended on your side. That's a natural thing, you know. We want them to, and hopefully they learn something too.
Yeah.
About how they would do things different, because that's important too.
Yeah.
Because hard money at the end of the day, but I need my coins. At the end of the day, they need their money.
Oh.
You know. And then at some point it will come out of your pocket. And now, are you guys going to keep it, or you refinance?
No, we're gonna sell that baby. We gotta sell it. It's like,
because it took a year, you almost forced to sell it now versus
it wasn't ever going to be a rental, just because of the volume of the project. It was like, this was one of my biggest projects that I've ever done. The property, we bought it for like $400,000. The flip was supposed to be around $800,000. It's still around there. But I'm also $200,000 in with my own money. So you see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm gonna break even, you know,
pretty much
when it comes down to it. But like you said,
the same thing right now.
Yeah.
Dad's got a project up in South Philly that's a corner monster, 2,600
that's how much this one is.
Yeah, corner, 2,600 square feet, 2-car garage.
Okay. Yeah.
And the thing is a monster.
Yeah. And it's literally,
she never did it before. A whole total got out.
And that's me. Like, I would always do, you know, the easy. I never sell anything. I always hold on to. I would hold on to everything and have them for the kids, right?
I talked about my daughter.
Yeah, but
she's almost ready to buy.
Okay, but yeah,
for rental.
That's my daughter. She has this midterm rental uptown. She every couple months a new doctor is moving into her property. Like, those were the type of projects we look to make them easy and make them pretty, things like that. This is a literal monster. And like I said, I'm going to walk away with my shirt, because we're not going to lose, not going to gain, but we will just break even. And you know what, at the end of the day, I'm grateful for it, because now I know what not to do, right? Because at the beginning, midway through, I'm like, maybe we should just list it as is, and and I have a really, 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 really strong life partner, and he was like, Jess, you're not going to quit. Like, you are going to get this done. You just need to stay focused and keep the focus, and then you will be able to do everything else that you've achieved in your life. You can be able to get this done. And so I didn't sell it, because I was literally about to put that bad boy right on the MLS and sell it as is and give them their money back and walk, just walk away. But we're 80% done, so it's almost there.
You might at 80% done. You might as well see it through, because my friend, not only was she has a big monster like that, but she had to fight with a conservatorship.
Oh, jeez.
That was,
that is whatever I see
on the episode that's coming out, and she talked in depth of how she had to deal with that as it came up for her own property, and how it set her so much money. And then how what she had to do with the property to comply, and how the conservatorship people was in cahoots with the neighborhood people, and all I could think of is, oh, wait a minute though, you literally got this. It's like a legal way to steal a property. Like, are you kidding me? And I think through conservatorship, people need to speak about it more, because
they don't believe it's happening.
It's one of my landlords, and he was like, yo, I can't believe this. Like, this person's actually in my house. Like, he could not believe it. And he had to defend himself. And I think even had to pay the conservatorship.
What?
Yes, you got to pay these conservatorships.
This is crazy.
Yeah. And you got to prove who you are. Ciao. You say conservatorship, it's a
Whole
whole
thing.
other animal.
Jeez.
It's worse than a squatter. A squatter, they have rights.
Yeah, you get
They're in your
6.
property to up to 9 months or whatever, a year. And certain things you can eventually get them out at some point. This one, you could be in your house,
And they
and they
still,
could take possession,
it's crazy.
literally just take possession, and then take your property. If you don't do it, they get the property. Oh yeah, it's called a conservatorship. It's
What?
no Malik and all that. So I'm quite sure he knows
He knows what's going on.
what that is. He's in a conservatorship. You're gonna be like, man, it's bad. It's bad. And I'm saying they taking all kinds of properties. Most of them I've been hearing about have been in the South Philly area.
Really?
Most of them I've been hearing have been in the South Philly area because it's prominent.
Right.
Anything in South Philly, no matter what it is, it could be a plot of land.
It's going to make
it's
some
up for
money.
grabs.
Yeah.
And the conservatorship is it's a crazy situation, no matter what condition the property is in. It's just sad. It's sad.
It is.
But with this property right here, would you do it again? Now let's talk about that because it's the biggest one you ever did. But would you do it again?
I would. I just would be armored with what I teach. That's the whole thing. I think for me is like, it's just like the slap on the wrist, Jazz, this is literally what you do and this is what you teach. And you kind of went against what you tell everybody else to do. So yes, I would definitely do it again, but I would definitely for sure take those steps that you done taught me. Everybody, Malik, everybody done taught, it's just, I tell people like, just be okay with being a beginner. And people always say,
always be learning.
You should literally always be learning. You should be the one that's learning in the room so that people can pour into you. And
I can't learn. I can't learn.
Yeah, but like, why you need to?
Yeah, I'm that serious.
Yeah,
I'm not showing up to show up. That's why I have the things I don't go to. For what?
Right.
Because I want to learn something back from that person so I can, oh man, really, I didn't know that. So yeah, absolutely.
So it's definitely, I would do it again. I would definitely move a lot differently, but I would do it again because I
think you would do it again. And because of how you are with the way you are, I think that now that you got it, it could take you one time.
It ain't going.
It could take you one time.
It's no.
We're gonna do boom, boom, boom. We're gonna do on phases. We're gonna stop. We're gonna this. We're gonna.
I want to talk to you about. The next one will be to build up from the ground.
All right. From here today.
Because building from the ground up is going to allow. I was talking to one of my investors earlier, and he was like, you already can anticipate the problems, right? When you renovate in a house, you don't know what's going to happen. But
it actually costs you more to renovate existing than it does to build from the ground up. The hardest part about building from the ground up is on the permit side.
Right.
Is you obtain the land, but people think because the land is on RM1, you could build multi. You still got to do zoning. You still got to go through zoning for that, right? Okay. No one builds something exactly the way it was.
Right.
You want to take advantage of the full scope of the square footage that you can get, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to deal with the zoning for the land first. Then you got to deal with the utilities, and I don't mean mechanicals. I'm talking utilities up under the ground and the water
What's
pressure
going on? You're right.
They don't tell you about, right?
Okay.
The soil test and environmental tests and all that stuff, right? And even planting trees, like they get into all that. Before you even break the ground. Once you get all that done, then now you can go ahead and break the ground. You'll get the building permit. But the building permit to actually do the actual structure. But you got the in the basement, what you create a basement utilities. Sure. Then once you get the foundation after the basement, then you build up the structure. Now you deal with your MEPs and you deal with your the building and stuff like that. Because at that point, the contractor is not even necessary at that point. Right. You're just dealing with the backhoe people and like actual builder once the structure. But once the structure is up, you can send your regular contractor in there. But everything is exposed, so you get to do it the first time. Right. Open the right time. Right then and there, and you move through it a lot quicker. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I want to make sure that they get who you are. Yeah, I want to talk to you too because I have maybe I can send it to you. I have
Definitely send me
check-off sheet.
that life coach.
Oh yeah. I got it.
Yeah.
I'll send her to you. I have two of them.
Okay.
Actually, my girl from Texas.
Okay.
And then from Houston, and then I have one in Atlanta.
Okay.
They both amazing.
Okay.
They both their pages. Use my name for both of them.
Okay.
And be like, hey, Paulette, send me your way.
Okay.
They're both sweethearts. They both will travel too if they need to and do Zoom.
Okay.
All
right, cool.
They're both beautiful. As far as anytime I need to travel to any of those spots, I have these spaces.
You already know, right?
To go ahead and have like an event or something.
Yeah.
That's the amazing thing about the business is once you start traveling, becomes addictive. Girl, you start traveling with me, you be like, Paulette, when you gonna make out? You're gonna be addictive.
Right.
You see people, they different when we travel. They really appreciate us.
Those girls down south get to $1 too. Like those girls, they really about that business.
They is about
the sisters
business,
down there.
like,
some of the groups and coaching programs and stuff that I'm in. They literally they love. Girl, come down. When you come down, you can stay with me.
That part.
If you come into town, when are you? I'm like, oh, I have a layover, so and so. Oh, girl, come on, I'm gonna send an Uber so you can come meet me for lunch. Like,
I did like 4 or 5 podcasts. They either send me drivers. Sometimes I get Uber or something like that. I usually decide to stay at least a couple of days or more.
Right.
And I barely spend my money. Like
they take care of you.
I feel like the older I get, the more my best life I'm living.
I love it.
Is it crazy?
I love it.
The best of my life is living.
I love it.
I swear. That's why I'm gonna do it all. Period. Like I'm gonna do it all. I want to do it. I'm gonna do it.
That's it.
Period. I'm not waiting for nobody. I'm gonna do it for me, and I want to do it with me.
That's awesome.
And I would love to bring people with me, but it's not going to be precedent on if somebody
comes. Right, it's
going
you.
to be completely just me. So listen, we're talking too personal.
I know. We can talk all day.
Listen, let me tell you, I want Jazz to give you guys her contact information. You guys listen up. I want you also to follow her on Instagram as well. So Jazz, go ahead and let them know.
Definitely, I hang out on Instagram. That's where I'm at all the time, at Green Real Estate Mom. You can DM me there, ask any questions. I'm happy to answer. I answer every last one of my DMs. And since they're coming through you, if you inbox me the word permit, then I got a special treat for you all, something that we're rolling out. So I can't wait for you all to try it out. And I can't wait. Paulette has poured into me and my community over the years. So for me to be able to come down and see this is an amazing thing. So I appreciate you all so